Hey, what's going on? My name is Benjamin Sonkin and this is BS Anime. Now, I'm here to cover a topic that I know my friend personally asked is that there's a struggling difference between the main characters for Muse and of course that being Honoka and Chika. And when you look at them, you might ask, how different are they? So this is an actual question that some of you might not know the answer to because you might look at them and say, well, how are they different? And if you only watch Love Live, you probably ask yourself this question too. I know I asked myself this question when I first saw the teaser for Love Live Sunshine. So as we know, Honoka is on the left and she is the leader of the group known as Muse for the anime Love Live. And on the right we have Chika Takami, who is the leader of Accords, which is in the anime Love Live Sunshine. So in this video, I'm going to go cover in detail the differences or the similarities of each character. I'm going to go over some characteristics and we'll see how different they actually are or how similar. Without further ado, let's go ahead and cover the differences or similarities between these two characters. First thing to cover is basic characteristics. On the left I'll talk about Honoka and on the right I'll have Chika. So here's the list from school, year, birthday, blood type, and etc. to cover some generic information about each character. So the first thing we're going to cover is that the school that Honoka attends, which is Onotoro Kizaka High. So some basic information about the school is located in Akibahara-ish area. It opened in 1896 and that's where Honoka's mom and grandmother, I believe, attended. It's losing many students, primarily due to its being really old and the opening of a lot of private schools. It's headed by Principal Minami, which is Kotori's mother, and it is modeled after Sekkei University, which is pictured here, which they have a striking resemblance to. Some other basic characteristics is that Honoka is a second year. She was born on August 3rd. She has a blood type 0. Her height is 157 centimeters. It is her basic 3 sizes. She likes strawberries, but also she really likes bread. If you watch the anime, you'll see her often eating that. She does not like bell peppers. If you play Love Live School Life Festival, she often tell her that she does not like eating bell peppers. And who could blame her? I don't like eating bell peppers so much either. And lastly, her charm point is stated to be her energetic smile, which is not my opinion, but that is what is stated on the wiki on the internet. Now let's go to Chika. So Chika attends Unanohoshi High, which is located in Uchihura. I can't pronounce it, I'm sorry. Which is a small seaside town. There's less than 100 students. It's headed by Mari Ohara, and it's surrounded by orange fields, aka Mikan, which I'll talk about a little later. And it's modeled after Agegasaki Middle School, which here's a picture of, which if you can't see, they basically the same inside and out. So that is modeled literally just right after that. So we also know Chika is also a second year. She was born on August 1st. Her blood type is E. Her height is 157 meters. There's 3 sizes. Her favorite food is minkan. So let's go over this. So as we can see, here's a picture of minkan, and it looks very similar to orange. So on the left we have the minkan juice, and on the right we have orange juice. And yes, these are both citrus fruits, but compared to mandarin, this is known to be one of the more sweeter varieties of it. And we also know that Maki apparently does not like these. But overall, it seems to be kind of like a sweeter variety of orange. Let's just put it that way. We know that she does not like coffee, and shirokara, which here's a picture of it. It's supposed to be described kind of like anchovies almost. And some people might compare it to natto, so that kind of stuff, if you know what I'm talking about. And her charm point is her bright smile. So let's go back to this, and the first thing we notice for the similarities is that they're both second years, but let's be a little cautious about that because they kind of had to make them both second years. Being a first year and trying to start a club such as the school idol club is unrealistic because they're just too new, while being a third year, you're worrying about college exams, you're worrying about your future, and to start a club and just leave right after you create it is not very good for the club itself. So more or less, it's got to be a second year, someone who has some authority, and someone's going to stay there for another year to make sure things are running smoothly. So yes, they're both second years, but again, they kind of had to do it. And that one thing that bugs me though is that their birthdays are strikingly close, and there's 350 plus days in a year, and they end up that close. That's awfully convenient. So blood types, we know they're different, but it doesn't matter if they're the same really that much. But their height is literally exactly the same. Like, they literally, down to the centimeter, have the same height. Now this makes you think, they must be the same character, right? Well, now when we go look at the sizes, they're pretty dang close. A centimeter off here or there. So when you look at it, their body shape is pretty much the same. You can just swap the hairstyles, put on a context, change the eye color, and then you can't tell the difference between these people because they basically have all the same basic characteristics. And the last thing is, people describe their charm point as they both have their smile as their charm point listed on the wiki. And yes, I agree that is their charm point, but if they have the same charm point, what differentiates the characters? So let's go and look at more stuff because that might not be enough. So let's go look at some other characteristics. So we know for Honoka, her inspiration to make the school idol group was Arise. And her goal was to save the aging school from closing down because they weren't getting enough people to apply to the school. She is also part of the subgroup known as Printemps, if that's how it's pronounced, and her role in the Muse is she is the leader of the group. When I say her color, generally, each girl has her own color, so when you see Honoka in the background, you might see having orange surrounding her. You know that her parents' occupation is a baker. She lives at the bakery known as Honoka, and her dad and her mom make a lot of sweets to make a living. Lastly, her hobbies and clubs beyond the school idol group was stated to be swimming, collecting stickers, finding money for luck purposes, and apparently she participated in kendo, and later she becomes involved in the student council. For Chika, her inspiration was Muse, as she saw the video of them performing and she was instantly inspired. Her goal probably wasn't originally to save the school, but later it became her goal as she didn't realize her school was to close down. Surprise, surprise, same plot. Chika is part of this Siran group. She is also the leader. Her color also happens to be orange. Her parents and her family live at the hotel, and they own a hotel where people can stay over. Then her hobbies and clubs were stated to be softball, karaoke, table tennis, calligraphy, and horizontal bar. So the similarities for the inspirations comes from basically the biggest and best group at that time. So we know that the Muse and primarily Honoka were really inspired by Arise because they were the best group at that time, and they eventually did win the first Love Live. These were the ones that were so good at it, they made them want to become that. And that was the same thing for Aquarius, where the Muse were the ideal group, and that's the group that they wanted to become. So the inspiration was pretty much the same, not the same group, but the same kind of principles. And it's not that I want to bash them because they both got inspired, but basically the same kind of idol at that time. But the thing is, they could have been inspired by someone else, or they could have decided to do it because they just thought it was cool and not necessarily because they had some group that they just idolized. The next thing to cover is to save the school, and we understand that that was the big plot point for the original series, but it also became the plot point of the second one, so it's not that unique. Yes, there are some difference in the plot, but I mean, come on, it's kind of the same thing. So the next thing is the subgroups. We have Printemps and Siran. So on the left we have Printemps with their Sweet and Sweet Holiday cover, and we got Siran on the right, which these are the groups that they are a part of. So as you can see, they're kind of in the same pose, to be honest. Like, Honoka's jumping, Chika's jumping. In fact, they're all jumping, and Ruby and Hanayo have kind of a similar pose, and well as Kotri. Also, we have the two second years on the left and the one first year on the right, and their kind of style is both to be that kind of happy, silly kind of song, and they are often compared to each other because it really is. Siran is the new Printemps, and the kind of songs that they kind of produce are just generally similar in style. So then the next thing is they're both the leader of the group, and you know, I mean, someone had to be the leader, and yes, kind of made sense. It had to be a second year, and necessarily a third year. But I felt like there could have been some differentiation. They're both this orange-haired girl that is the leader, and when you think about it, it's like, wow. Of course, I'm going to draw connections because they're both the leaders, and I felt like the leaders could have maybe had some little differentiation in their roles or how they interact with other people or whatnot, but yet they feel like almost the exact same. So when you say they're both their colors, they're both orange, and well, that's kind of strange. It's such a coincidence that both the leaders of the group have this color known as orange as their colors, and I mean that's also generally their colors decided as oranges because their hairs are orange. And I mean, yes, there is someone else, Rin. Rin does have orange hair as well, but that's besides the point. And lastly to talk about this is the parent occupation is not the same, but they have some kind of resemblance to each other where they both have their kind of business in that house and that they're kind of self-sustained that way. And that's not too much of a problem for me, but it is somewhat similar in a way. So I don't know, I'm a little iffy about that. So the next thing let's talk about is their family. So for Honoka, we have Yukiko, which is his younger sister, her mom, and her dad, which your dad you'll never see the face of. But these are the three parts of her family, and no, we don't get to see really anyone else, including her grandma or whatnot, but those are people in the family. For Chika, we have her two older sisters, we have her mom on the right, and then Shiitake, which is the dog in the center. Overall, yes, they only have sisters, but I mean, guys are just really inexistent in the Love Live world, and the only one that actually has a brother is Nico, so I kind of expected this, and yes, there's a different amount, and no, Honoka does not have a pet, so I'm not drawing too many similarities. One had a younger sister and one had older sisters. They have different amounts of sisters, so overall I think it's not too many connections can be really drawn here. So next section is clothing. So for Honoka we have the host shirt, and yeah, I mean not that shirt, but the one you generally see in her exercises, which is one of those two combinations. So the reason why I mention this is because Honoka, well, the first part of Honoka is Ho, and that's what you see in her shirt. So Honoka Kosaka, Rin and Kanji is written there below. However, none of those characters appear on her shirt. So let's do a little Japanese lesson. So when we convert this into simplified form, that's what Honoka would look like if you're written in the simplest characters, where we see Honoka. Ho being the first of the three characters. And so that is what is on her shirt. Now for Chika, we have the two different versions of the shirt, but the first part of Chika is Chi, which again you'll see on her shirt right there. So we have the Ho and the Chi, which is the first part of each of their names, and they both wear that while they exercise. What a coincidence, am I right? Alright, so next thing to cover is the looks. So don't be mad, because I'm not going to be bashing your character, and don't be scared, because I'm not here to really comment on if I like them or not, how they look, because generally I do like their looks. So we have the first thing we're going to compare is these two characters when they were young, and you can see they both have orange hair, but Chika more looks like a tomboy and Honoka looks like a little girl, so I can't really see that many comparisons to do. So let's go and do the versions we know as in Love Live and Love Live Sunshine. So some similarities we see is that, well, yes, they both have orange hair. Honoka has the side ponytail all the time, and then we see Chika has the kind of braids on the side. So they will generally always have that on, and that's kind of their center point of their looks. And that is also another thing that you might say that's some similarities. And one, they both kind of have relatively short hair where they only goes to about their shoulders. So their hairstyles are pretty dang similar. Going along with the ponytail or braid, is that they are often found wearing ribbons, and yes, that's because they need that to hold their pigtails or ponytails or whatnot. But they're also both yellow in this picture. Now, yes, they change colors all the time with white and blue, sometimes you might see, and there might not necessarily just be a ribbon, but you almost never see them having just their hair down. So that's another similarity that I see a lot with these two girls. The last one might be a little stretch, but they're the same eye style, so if you go look at this picture, not all Love Live girls are drawn with the same eye style. I mean, in anime, generally, everyone has their own style for drawing their eyes, but Honoka and Chika had the same eye style. And that's not that important. I know some other Love Live girls share the same eye style, but that's just something I wanted to mention. Next in this long list is the personalities of these two characters. So these are some characteristics that I found listed on the wiki, or I felt like would be applicable to these characters. So on Honoka we have bright, happy, optimistic, persistent, determined, sociable, hardworking, not for school though, and goofy. While Chika we have bright, happy, energetic, persistent, determined, sociable, relatable, / empathetic. So these are the big ones I would say for each character. So first thing is they're both considered bright and happy, and oftentimes you would always see them being happy, and the one that's always like, let's do this guys, we can do this. And that kind of bright and happy attitude is just extremely consistent with both of them, and sometimes you feel like they are the exact kind of role. And I mean, yes, they're both leaders, so this is an important aspect of them. But then again, they have a lot of similarities because of this. Honoka, we see that she's more optimistic, while Chika, we don't really see that too much. But another thing that is common between both of them is that they're persistent. Honoka, not as much, but you really see the level of persistency of Chika when she really tried hard to get Riko to join. And yes, Honoka is persistent, but not quite that persistent. We sometimes see Honoka falter, and then unlike Chika, who generally just keeps going and going no matter how hard it is. You know, they're both determined and sociable just by watching them. And then we do have Honoka being hardworking, but sometimes we see her sleeping in class, which we don't really see that being a thing for Chika. And lastly, we see Honoka being goofy all the time. And yeah, Honoka is a goofy character. She does a lot of silly, stupid things from here and there. Well, Chika, you don't really quite see that. She's probably spending more time talking about Kiseki or miracles and how she wants to shine and be brilliant. But one thing that we do see Chika is that I say she's more relatable and empathetic, because a lot of times she does talk about her struggles that she's trying to hide behind her smile. And you know, when sometimes you see her cry because she wanted to work really hard to make sure she was able to get her goal. And yes, there was that episode where Honoka kind of gave up, but that's not really the relatable, empathetic kind of feeling I get from Chika, which that what really differentiates her personality from Honoka. So next thing I want to talk about is their voice. So let me play some examples of Honoka. So now I'm going to play some examples of Chika. So now we end up getting that both of their voices have this kind of bright and vibrant, but they're also not too high on their pitch. Now we know some girls sing with a really high pitch and some with a little lower pitch. And both of these girls are about the same, so I'll say Chika is about a little bit higher in their pitches, but because I mean they're also in the same kind of subgroup. So yes, they do mirror each other in a lot of ways for the style they sing. So there's a lot of similarities I see with that, and I feel like you might be able to substitute them and swap them, and you probably wouldn't notice if they were doing the whole group song, because they do sing kind of similarly. So what's the point of going through all that? So yes, I've been explaining for about 20 minutes a lot of the similarities and differences I see between the characters, and I guess if you skip there, hello. Sorry it took so long to explain it, but I felt it was important to try to look at this at every angle, just rather than just looking at it, because it's not fair to judge a book by its cover. And when you just look at these two pictures, you think, wow, there are a lot of similarities, and I might say, how are these characters different? And yes, I understand that. So go back to the question, how different are these characters? Are they really similar? Are they the same character? Well, my answer to that is they are pretty dang similar. They're not the same character, and their personalities are, at certain moments, really feel like they differentiate themselves. But honestly, I felt like they could have swapped their characters between the two series and probably would have worked fine. And they could have really not changed much. Yes, there are a few things they changed, and because Chika grew up in the sea kind of country area, she grew to really like Mika, and she's really obsessed with that kind of fruit, and that really shows through, well, a lot of things. She's eating that fruit all the time, and she has an orange mask that literally makes her look like an orange, and etc. But kind of the point is, I felt like the creators of these characters could have did a little bit more to differentiate them. And I mean, their looks are kind of similar, and I felt like Chika's inspiration was just Honoka, and there was a lot of things that just were kept the same, and it felt like, oh, we should just change this a little bit so we can get a little different character. And honestly, these two characters are probably the most similar out of all the Love Live franchises. And honestly, I feel like yes, they are pretty dang similar, and even if I don't want to agree, I still kind of have to agree that these characters do have a striking resemblance of each other, and it is kind of fair to say they are pretty similar. They're not the same character, but really, they kind of are in many ways, as we went through. Like, they literally have the same kind of body shape. Like, you probably couldn't tell the difference. Both have that leader kind of role, and they kind of have a relatively similar personality that's not very different. Yes, there are some slight changes here and there, but that's also another thing. And their colors are pretty much the same. I mean, they both have the same hair color, and their hairstyles are a bit different, but they have some resemblance of each other. And we also go through their inspiration, and it's really the same. And the plotline is not the most different. I mean, it's clearly a spin-off of the previous series. So yes, in conclusion, I gotta say they are pretty dang similar. And I know some people might hate me for saying that, but they kind of are. It's not that I have a huge problem with that, but I know a lot of people do, and there are a lot of similarities that you just cannot deny. So yeah, and there's another thing I want to talk about, is that you often see these two hang out with their other second year. So you see Honoka, Minami, Kotori, and Sonoda Umi on the left, and you go look at the right, you see Chika with Watanabe Yo on the right, and Sakurachi Riko on the left. And now that I look at it, when you see Kotori and Yo, they have the same hair color, and might have to do a video about those two being similar too. Woo! Anyways, thank you so much for watching my video, and of course, if you want to discuss something, or if you have some disagreements or agreements, please let me know in the comments below. I am more than happy to talk to you to see how you feel about this opinion. If there's something that you also want to add, just go ahead and tell me. And if you have any other suggestions, just please tell me. I'm more happy to listen at least, and I might make a video in the future. So hopefully you enjoyed this video, and if you would like, there are some videos for you to click on. So hopefully I'll see you soon.